then shifted over every other digit. Either way, you would have reached the correct product and the correct quotient when multiplying and dividing. Let's try a few more. This time, we'll practice multiplying and dividing by 100. Let's begin by reading the two expressions you see on your screen. The first one is 215 and 6/10 times 100. And the second one is 215 and 6/10 divided by 100. In a moment, I'll have you pause the video and work these two problems on your personal whiteboard. Before you go, I want you to remember to try to visualize them first, shifting on the place value chart. Write down your product and your quotient, and then check your work using your place value chart. When you're finished, come back and we'll check together. Welcome back. Let's check your work. The first expression is 215 and 6/10 times 100, and that equals 21,560. Your second expression is 215 and 6/10 divided by 100, and that equals 2 and 156 thousandths. I'd like for you to pause the video and think to yourself or discuss with someone near you. How many times did the digits shift in these two problems, and why? Then come back when you're finished. Hi there. Hopefully you were thinking, well, Miss LaFont, it shifted 2 times for both of these problems. The first one, it shifted 2 times to the larger units because we're multiplying by 100, which would make each digit 100 times larger. 100 is made up of a 10 times 10. So essentially we're shifting 10 times 10, which is what's causing us to shift 2 times. Same goes for our division problem. When we're dividing by 100, our number or our digits are getting smaller. In this case, they are 1/100th the size they were before you divided. And that's different than our first few problems where we were multiplying and dividing by 10, which caused our digits to shift only 1 time to the larger or smaller units. Let's try 2 more problems. Let's begin by reading our 2 expressions, 3 and 7/10 times 100 and 3 and 7/10 divided by 100. In a moment, I'll ask you to pause the video and work these 2 problems. But before you go, remember, I want you to try to visualize the shifting of the digits on the place value chart. Write down your product and your quotient, and then check using your place value chart. When you're done, come back and we can check. Welcome back. How did you do with visualizing the shifts? I bet you did awesome. Let's check to see how you did. 3 and 7/10 times 100 was our first expression, and that equals 370. 3 and 7/10 divided by 100 was our second expression, and that equals 37 thousandths. Remember, when we multiply digits by 100, the digit is going to shift 2 times to the larger unit. So 3 ones shifted to 300ths because 300ths is 100 times larger than 3 ones. And the same goes when we divide. 3 and 7/10 divided by 100, we shifted 2 times to the smaller unit because the value of those digits is getting smaller by being divided. In this case, the value is now 1/100th as large as it was before we divided. Let's move into our last 2 problems together. But this time, we'll find the product and the quotient when multiplying and dividing by 1,000. Let's begin by reading these 2 expressions. The first one is 482 thousandths times 1,000, and the second expression is 482 divided by 1,000. Go ahead and pause the video now. Be sure you visualize the shifting of the digits on the place value chart first to find your product and quotient. Then check your word